Welcome to the internet, a fantastic place to get confused on what to eat.
Red meat is the only superfood.
Red meat is dangerous for our health and something that should be avoided.
Fish can work wonders for your longevity and energy levels.
Fish is full of heavy metals.
That it's no longer safe to eat fish. It really is that bad.
We've got to bring vegetables back into our diet.
I don't eat salads. I don't eat vegetables. I don't let my kids eat vegetables. Plants are trying to kill you.
People who eat more fruits and vegetables live longer, have less cancer, lower risk of developing obesity, better glycemic control. They're pretty much healthier in every single aspect that you can find.
Fruit contains sugar, so surely fruit must be bad for weight loss.
In fact, oatmeal is one of the worst foods that you can put in your body.
If you start eating oatmeal every day, you will get better looking skin. You will get rid of digestive problems.
Nuts are a great addition to anyone's diet.
This could not be further from the truth. In fact, nuts and seeds can increase the inflammation in your body.
We are in a societal confusion on food.
I have personally been so flippin' confused on what to eat that at times I'm like, forget it, I'll just be a breatharian.
Hold on. Just eating a little bit, getting a little snack.
Right. I don't think I could be a breatharian because I like eating food too much. And while I don't have all of the answers, at this point, I can confidently say that I no longer get confused when someone online says, eat this food. No, this is the best diet. Take these supplements. I'm a doctor, trust me. And let me just say, with medical doctors, they do not go to nutrition school. Most of them get one nutrition course for one semester, and that's it. And then we go to them thinking they're going to be able to help us with what to eat, but instead they know which medications we should be swallowing because they don't get paid telling us to go to the grocery store. Food is like our batteries. When we put food in, we're able to operate. If we don't put food in, then we will not function. Food is like gasoline. If I have a gas engine and I put diesel in my gas tank, I will mess up my engine. So people will continue to gain weight, become sicker, have low energy, feel like doo-doo if we don't learn the basics to food. And the best way to know what to eat and why is to track. I know people don't like tracking their food, I don't either, but when we have more knowledge, we have more power, and then we're able to make better choices for our bodies. I would rather track my food for a week to get a better understanding of what I'm eating and why, versus go about life with no idea why I'm gaining weight, feeling sick, having low energy, having body odor, sugar cravings, joint pain, irritability, acne, depression, hormonal issues, etc., and live a life where I just don't have as much knowledge about why I'm doing what I'm doing with my food. I promise this video is not going to be boring, okay?
I can open your eyes.
You're gonna walk away from this video feeling like a whole new person. I'm going to go through the step-by-step process on how to track food, how to track macros, what are macros, looking at vitamins and minerals, understanding why we eat these vitamins and minerals, and the basics to food 101. It's actually super easy, it's not hard at all, and it's free, which is my favorite word. And the goal is to not track forever, but I think everyone would benefit from just tracking even for a week to see what they're getting from the foods they're eating. There are many different websites people can use to track their food, but I just use a website called Chronometer because it's free and user-friendly. You can just create a login with an email and password and fill in your sex, age, height, and weight. Now, I would recommend putting in your accurate information because specifically with gender, male and female, we do require slightly different amounts of different vitamins and minerals, and I'll give an example of that later. And I do what is called lazy tracking, and what I mean by that is in Chronometer, you can go over to the left where it says More, Profile plus Targets, and you can customize how many calories you want, your proteins, fats, and carbs. You can change your targets for vitamins and minerals. I don't do any of that. I mean, you can, but for me, I think it just makes things more complicated and I like keeping things simple. So I just leave the preset targets and settings in Chronometer as is. Now let's say for breakfast, I had 2 scrambled eggs cooked in a tablespoon of butter with 2 slices of bacon and an orange. In Chronometer, on the dashboard, there's this little apple with a plus sign. I click on that and type egg. There's all of these different kinds of eggs that will pop up. Cooked eggs, raw eggs, egg whites only. I can type in scrambled eggs and scrambled eggs will pop up. I can type in boiled, then choose boiled eggs. I can change the serving size to a small egg, medium egg, slices, ounces, grams, but for this example, I'm just gonna leave it at 1 large egg. You can see it provides 78 calories, 6 grams of protein, virtually no carbs, and about 5 grams of fat. And then for this example, I had 2, so then I would change it to 2 and add to diary. And these 2 eggs are now providing roughly 155 calories. This word right here, energy, is synonymous with calories. This is what food does for us. Food provides us energy. So under macronutrients, we've got calories, 155, protein, about 12 grams, carbs, 1 gram, and fat, about 10 grams. Now, whenever you hear the word nutrients, nutrients breaks down into macronutrients and micronutrients. Under macronutrients, we have proteins, fats, and carbs. Proteins help build our bodies, fats and carbs help fuel our bodies. Protein helps build our car, fats and carbs are like the gasoline for the engine. If I don't put enough fats and carbs in my tank, then I'm gonna feel very low energy. And if I don't eat enough protein, my car will not be built, period. Like if I didn't eat protein, I would be dead. And then under micronutrients, we've got vitamins and minerals. Think of vitamins and minerals as the different parts to the car. So we've got the car seat belt, windows, mirrors, lights, foot pedal. Vitamins and minerals help our cells and organs do their job. We need all these different vitamins and minerals, all these different pieces to the car to make the car safe and to operate and function properly. Again, the word nutrients encompasses macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, and micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. When we looked at our 2 eggs, we looked at the macronutrients. And if we scroll down on this website, you can see the micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. Our 2 eggs provided us with these percentages of what's recommended for our minimum intake of vitamins and minerals. Now, this is the recommendation based on the RDAs, and there's debate on whether or not we should be trusting the RDAs, if they have the most accurate numbers, but for simplicity purposes, I do try to hit the RDAs. It's a good starting place. I'm not saying everything the RDAs recommend is perfect, but it is just a really good starting place. Now, what if instead of 2 eggs, I did 6 eggs? You can see these 6 eggs are providing us a lot of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals. But why do I care if I get, let's say, calcium? Well, if I hover my cursor over the word calcium, it will tell its function. Calcium helps grow healthy bones in early life and minimize bone loss later in life. What about copper? It's used to make cells in your body that help fight off infections, and it's used to make the collagen in your skins, bones, and cartilage. Why do I care if I get potassium? It's used to maintain a steady heartbeat. So all of these vitamins and minerals are really important, and they have specific roles within the body. And if we're low in one of these micronutrients, then it throws the whole system off. And we may be able to get away with being deficient in one or more of these vitamins and minerals for a certain period of time, but being deficient for years or for decades in one or more of these micronutrients can lead to things like sickness, disease, irritability, fatigue, low energy, hormonal imbalances, etc. All right, let's finish plugging in our breakfast. We've got our 2 eggs. I'll click the little apple with the plus sign. To add in the butter, I cook the scrambled eggs in. Again, you can change the serving size, but let's say I cook the eggs in 1 tablespoon of butter. Add to diary. I said 2 slices of bacon. Let's say thick slice, 2 of them. Add to diary, and an orange. This breakfast is 430 calories, 22 grams of protein, 13 carbs, and 30 grams of fat. And then you can see where we are with our vitamins and minerals so far. And if I hover my cursor over the percentage, it will break down which foods are providing the specific vitamins and minerals. For example, if I hover my cursor over vitamin B12, it shows I'm getting 46% of this 58% of vitamin B12 from eggs, followed by bacon, giving me 11% of the vitamin B12, and butter 1%. And these percentages of vitamins and minerals that we're looking at are the total of having 2 eggs, a tablespoon of butter, 2 slices of bacon, and an orange. But if I want to see what vitamins and minerals I'm specifically getting from one of these foods, I could just click on, let's say, the butter, scroll down, and it shows the tablespoon of butter has 100 calories, no protein or carbs, and 11 grams of fat. Scroll down to our micronutrients, a little vitamin A, and that's it. So this is what the butter provides. All right, now remember when I said when you log into Chronometer, I would put in the accurate information of my age, gender, height, and weight? So I'm gonna show the example as to why. I made 2 Chronometer accounts, one that's male, one that's female, and I made them both the exact same age, the exact same height, and the exact same weight. The only thing that's different is one is male and one is female. And if I plug in the exact same breakfast, the different genders will hit different percentages of their micronutrients. Because men don't require eating as much iron as women. Women have a menstrual cycle. Men and women don't have the same requirements for vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, zinc. So if you create a Chronometer account and you try to plug in the same foods that I'm plugging in today, even though we'll have the same amount of vitamins and minerals eating the same foods, we will hit different percentages of vitamins and minerals because we're different ages, heights, weights, genders, and people. I used to make more what I eat in a day videos because, I do think it's helpful for people to see different meal ideas and different plates of food, but at the same time, no one should be copying what I do because we're not going to have the same results, and you may copy what I'm doing and you may not be fully nourished. And I don't want that for anybody. Also, people just like different foods. I had a coaching client the other day who likes kimchi, so we pulled up Chronometer, plugged in kimchi, and showed her it was giving her a good amount of vitamin K. Personally, I don't like the taste of kimchi. Other people, maybe when they eat kimchi, it causes them to have more of an itchy throat, or a rash, or bloating, gas, brain fog. So we don't all have to eat kimchi, but we all need vitamin K. And this particular client was asking me, what supplements do I personally take? I take vitamin K because I don't eat a lot of foods with vitamin K. But that doesn't mean that everyone should be supplementing with vitamin K if they can get it from the foods that they're eating. I supplement with vitamin D, but if you have access to a place where you get sun year-round, most people just need 10 to 12 minutes of sun each day, and that will give them enough vitamin D. So that's one thing in Chronometer. You can't plug sunshine into your Chronometer account. So if your vitamin D level shows that you're low, then I would kind of just ignore the lower vitamin D percentage in Chronometer if you're getting in the sun or supplementing. I also supplement with electrolytes, but not everyone needs to supplement with electrolytes. I would just plug in my food in Chronometer and see, am I low in potassium? Am I low in magnesium? If so, then you may want to consider supplementing. The brand of electrolytes I recommend and use is called Element Electrolytes because it's a very clean ingredient brand for electrolytes with no sugar or artificial ingredients. It has the science-backed ratios of sodium, magnesium, and potassium that keeps the body hydrated. I just take this packet, dump it into my water and milk each day. I only use one packet at this point. Other people, if they're really low in certain minerals, they may want to have more than one packet. Right now, you can get 8 additional packets of Element free with your order by using the link in the description, or you can get those 8 additional free packets of all of Element's different flavors by going to the URL drinkelement.com/Lillie Kane, and Element does have a money-back guarantee, so if you try it and you don't like it, you can get your money back. Now, I will say with Chronometer, it's a super helpful tool, but a couple things. Firstly, these vitamin and mineral targets are the minimum recommendation to avoid deficiencies and disease. These are not the recommendations for optimal health. So if I hit 100% on my selenium every single day, that's great. But if I go over 100%, that's also fine. Where it can get a little bit tricky is if I go, let's say, to thousands and thousands of percent on one micronutrient and I'm barely hitting another one, now I'm creating a huge imbalance in my body. The body likes balance. So I just don't want to be getting thousands of percentages of one vitamin or mineral and barely be hitting my other ones. Doing it once in a while, not that big of a deal, but if every single day I was chronically high in vitamin A and very low in vitamin D, now my body has an imbalance in these vitamins. Again, totally fine to go over 100% on these vitamins and minerals. In fact, I encourage it because again, these are the minimum recommendations and targets to avoid deficiencies. These are not the recommendations for optimal health. But at the same time, we don't want to be going super high in one vitamin or mineral and leaving the others left behind. Anyway, a problem with Chronometer is that you may hit your selenium every single day, and yet you go to the doctor and your doctor says you need to have more selenium in your diet. And you say, hey doctor, look over here. I'm hitting my selenium every day. And he says, but you got a thyroid problem, so you need to have more selenium. See, this is where Chronometer is not the doctor. Do not take Chronometers numbers as the gospel. But again, this is a helpful tool where now when you do go to your doctor and he says you need to be having more selenium, you can ask, well, I'm hitting my selenium every day through food. Why am I now additionally taking supplementation? And the doctor should be able to explain why. Or let's say every day in Chronometer, you hit your iron, but you go and get your blood work done and your blood work shows that you're low in iron. Well then, again, who cares what Chronometer says about hitting iron? Clearly your blood work is showing you're not getting enough. All this to say, Chronometer is a really great tool for helping us learn about food and know what foods are providing us what nutrition. But, even though you may be hitting your vitamins and minerals in Chronometer, if your doctor or blood work says you're low in a certain vitamin or mineral, then I would trust that information more than the generic targets that Chronometer has. Or again, you can adjust and personalize your vitamin and mineral targets in Chronometer's settings. The other thing I want to point out with Chronometer is if I type in the word ground beef, on the right you can see it says source. The sources that are reputable are NCCDB and USDA. After that, if you get something like CRDB or anything else, this is just someone like myself or you or anyone else who's using Chronometer who's creating their own food. Maybe you have a certain recipe you like or a food that you see is not in Chronometer. You can create your own food, but most people aren't putting in all of the vitamins and minerals of that food. So if you see with this 365 ground beef, there's 15 listed nutrients. If I add this 365 ground beef to my diary, you can see it provides no vitamins and minerals. That's not accurate. Ground beef has vitamins and minerals in it. So when you're adding food to the diary, I would look out for the source being either NCCDB or USDA, as those are going to be more reputable sources. For example, with this ground beef, the source is NCCDB, and before you even add it to the diary, it shows that there's 80 listed nutrients. Of course, I can then add it to the diary and see all the different nutrients in ground beef. The other thing, and this is just tricky processed food companies, is if you were to put in cereal or pancake mix or cookies into Chronometer. So let's say I have a cup of Lucky Charms. This cup of Lucky Charms has more vitamins and minerals in it than a cup of lettuce. And yes, we already went over in a previous video that veggies don't have many nutrients in them in comparison to what people think. But with Lucky Charms and other processed foods, they're going to show a surprising amount of vitamins and minerals. Now, processed food companies are little sneaky freakies because they will take their garbage food, extract vitamins and minerals chemically in a lab, and put them in their processed foods. The synthetic vitamins and minerals extracted chemically from a lab in processed foods are not the same things as the vitamins and minerals that come from real whole single ingredient foods from nature. No scientist or laboratory needed to put vitamin B3, B12, iron, selenium, and zinc in my ground beef. The nutrients found in real whole food are more bioavailable, absorbable, and usable by the body versus the chemically extracted man-made synthetic versions of vitamins and minerals put in processed foods. The last thing I want to throw out there is we do not have to be perfect. I know some people, if they start tracking their food, they're going to become more anxious and stressed, looking and saying, oh my gosh, I'm deficient in magnesium, I'm always low in iron, and it can stress people out. That is not my intention with this video. I personally do not get every single vitamin and mineral every single day, and that's okay. If I were to track my food for 7 days and every single day I was low in copper, okay, well now that's just more information for me to use to go and see what foods are now high in copper and that I can start incorporating into my weekly meal plan. But if 6 out of 7 days I'm fine in copper and 1 day I'm lower in copper, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. The goal is to not have more stress, it's to have more awareness. Because again, another example, I had a coaching client who likes to cook her meat in cassava. It's more of a traditional thing, so we looked up on Chronometer, what does cassava provide? The amount of cassava she was having to cook her meats with provided her about 45-ish calories, and if we scroll down, here's the vitamins and minerals the amount of cassava she was having provided. Now, just because the food doesn't offer a lot nutritionally speaking, doesn't mean this person should avoid cassava. It's totally fine to eat foods that are lower in nutrients. We just want to make sure that throughout the rest of the day, we're eating the foods that do have the nutrients. But if someone likes the taste, the texture, the flavor, the color of a certain food, and it makes them happy, and it doesn't cause them any issues, it's totally fine to eat. But if you have a certain food and it causes you to have a rash, irritability, brain fog, low energy, acne, joint pain, if it causes some sort of negative response, then I wouldn't eat it. But if you have cassava and it doesn't cause you any negative issues, then I would have it. Again, it may not give a lot nutritionally speaking, but then we just want to make sure we're eating the other foods that provide the nutrition. Again, at this point, I don't track my food as I've already seen, okay, which foods give me which nutrients, and I've learned about how to create meals that work for me. A few times a year I'll track just to make sure that I'm still on target, but otherwise I don't log my food. Though when I do log my food, Chronometer will also try to tell you how many calories you burned. And I don't put my activity, I don't track my exercise, yet still Chronometer will try to tell me how many calories I burned. I would just ignore that. It's really hard to accurately know how many calories someone's burning anyway, but I'm not even logging it, so I don't know how it comes up with this burned number. And if you're curious on how many calories someone should be eating, I will link a video in the description where I go through the step-by-step process on how to figure out my calories, proteins, fats, and carbs. I do offer one-on-one coaching, so if you'd want to ask more questions, sit down and go through Chronometer with me, I would love to help you on your health journey. There's a link in the description to my coaching services. Don't be silly, subscribe to Lillie, and I'll see you in the next one.